I think one of the best skill sets you can have as an entrepreneur is not being so stuck in the fact that you've always done something a certain way and it's been successful in the past, and instead really adopt this idea of being focused on what's trending and what's ending. Because that's always been business. That's always been life. Something new is trending and something that's been working is ending. And our highest performer friends, they are seeing these new trends and they're experiencing other things in the past not working anymore. So you're not alone, but that doesn't mean that you just sit there on your hands. It means you figure out, okay, where are the trends going? I got to be a part of this thing. So here's 3 of them. You ready?
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Chris Harder Show, where today I am grateful for you. You know what? This is a shout out to you today. I'm grateful to you, the listener, for taking the time to tune in to my podcast. I know there are a lot of podcasts that you can listen to out there, and you only get just so much time. So if you're listening, it means the absolute world. Thank you for choosing this one among others. I always work really hard to try and share something that might be relevant and helpful to you, especially in your business, especially in your financial journey, etc. So thanks for listening. Appreciate that. All right. So today we're going to talk about 3 trends to consider in your business planning coming up. When I say consider, I mean 3 trends that you should probably do. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind. Now, you've heard the term that a rising tide lifts all ships. Matter of fact, we named the overall parent company that owns Frollo Rising Tides. That's like how much I believe in the fact that a rising tide lifts all ships. So if that's the fact, you'd be silly not to analyze the current rising tides and get a natural lift from them in your business, right? So this episode is not just about catching a tailwind from the rising tides. It's about this important movement going on where things are adjusting quickly. And we're going to talk about what's trending, and we're going to talk about what's disappearing. And you're going to experience like a fast, painful decline in business if you're not already experiencing that, if you aren't recognizing what's trending and what's ending. I think one of the best skill sets you can have as an entrepreneur is not being so stuck in the fact that you've always done something a certain way and it's been successful in the past, and instead really adopt this idea of being focused on what's trending and what's ending. Because that's always been business. That's always been life. Something new is trending and something that's been working is ending. Listen, I'll tell you this. We are seeing and we are experiencing it. And our highest performer friends, they are seeing these new trends and they're experiencing other things in the past not working anymore. So if that's you, you're not alone. We're feeling it. Our highest performing friends are feeling it. Some of the people that you hold on a pedestal as the biggest names in blank industry, I know for a fact that they're feeling it because I have conversations with them and their numbers. So you're not alone, but that doesn't mean that you just sit there on your hands. It means you figure out, okay, where are the trends going? I got to be a part of this thing. So here's 3 of them. You ready? First one's this: IRL and analog. So in other words, in real life experiences, in real life events, in real life anything, and analog are totally trending right now. The first trend is probably my favorite one, to be honest. You know, I'm kind of at that age where I love in-person connection. I love slowing down. And I just love the analog days. I miss days before smartphones and all that stuff. But don't worry, this is not a nostalgic podcast. I'll get back to like how this is going to help you. But the truth is, I'm really excited about this movement that IRL and analog are really trending. If you think about it, we are drowning in digital. Everybody's got a freaking screen in their face. Everybody has an inbox that never, ever empties. Like, where do all these emails come from? We're all probably getting too many texts as well at this point. We've got too much digital fighting for our attention. And we've got freaking social media feeds that are like never ending, like so easy to just end up doom scrolling. And people are tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm guessing you're probably tired of it. So what's happening? How's this affecting the landscape? There's a massive swing back towards anything real and anything analog. And I'm seeing it everywhere. Analog cars on the auction sites, because I watch like Bring a Trailer every single morning. I'm obsessed. If you followed the show for a long time, you know I'm obsessed with cars, especially classic cars. Well, analog cars, instead of all these digital cars with all these features where you don't even feel the drive anymore, analog cars are skyrocketing in popularity and they're skyrocketing in value. A few years ago, some of you know, I bought my 69 Jaguar XKE, one of the most beautiful cars ever created. I bought it because I wanted something different that no one else had. And I wanted a visceral driving experience. I'm sick of a plutonic, like non-involved driving experience. And that's where everything's going, Tesla and everything. Jesus, you don't have to drive your own car anymore. And I get the convenience of that. But what's trending is wanting to feel the experience again. And I'm seeing, it's not just me, it's not just my generation. I'm seeing lots of younger generations suddenly gravitate towards these older cars too. They're starting Instagram and TikTok accounts for them. Like, it's wild how it's trending. I also just read an article where Gen Z is buying flip phones in mass again. Like, tons of people are buying freaking, plain non-smart flip phones. You can call and you can text and that's about it. And it's because they don't want the noise and they don't want the temptation and they don't want the constant penetration of digital in their brains and in their eyeballs that comes with smartphones. And as for IRL, right, in real life, you may have heard that Lori and I recently took a stake in a peptide company. Well, Glossy, Lori's company, and this other peptide company that we took a stake in, they started doing IRL events to support the community and support their users. And now they sell out in just a matter of hours every time. And the events are growing and growing. And people are asking, when's the next one? Matter of fact, they oversell every time they plan one. So they're going to be doing a ton of these Glossy/peptide company events. You're going to see a ton of them out there this year. Like, they're going all in on IRL because the turnouts are amazing and the people freaking love them and the feedback's amazing. And it boosts sales for both companies when they do them. I'm seeing it in coffee shop trends too. Themed coffee shops, whether it is a themed matcha shop, whether it is these car-themed coffee shops, these retro-themed coffee shops. I've seen coffee shops, they're themed around watches or records or whatever. They are popping off here, and they're popping off everywhere. Lines down the freaking block every day. I'm not exaggerating. And it's because people want experience. They want real, tangible experience, and they want to be in person. IRL is about the presence. It's about almost like slowing down and pausing. And it's about being in the same room as other humans instead of interacting online like we do with other people. It's about events and masterminds and dinners and retreats and groups of friends. It's real, not fake interaction. Analog is about the medium, meaning how you use it. Instead of having the experience wiped out and automated, it's like vinyl over streaming. It's a paper book over Kindle. It's handwritten notes for your customers over freaking more emails upon emails upon emails. Different things, same root. And that is this. People are sick of the screen. They're sick of fake. People don't know what's real and not real anymore because of AI. And so they'll pay a premium for something with weight to it, meaning it's tangible. They can see and feel with their real eyes. They'll pay a premium for this, you guys. So here's why this matters for your business. In a world where digital is infinite and basically free at this point, totally commoditized, the finite and the physical become the premium product, where all the margins, all the experience, all the loyalty is. Presence and physicality are the two things that a screen or an auto-driving Tesla or Waymo or any of that other bullshit can't replicate. And it's exactly why they're worth so much money and growing. My brother always reminds us when we talk about marketing or when we work with clients, he always reminds us, do the unscalable until it doesn't scale anymore, until you literally can't. Do that unscalable thing until you literally can't anymore. Most people, they start doing the unscalable thing and it starts working really well. And then they fall to this trap of, well, pretty soon this isn't going to scale. I ought to go digital. I ought to go bigger. I ought to make all these adjustments. And then their business flatlines or flops. And that's the funny thing here. The unscalable right now has the most value these days. So maximize it. So like if I gave you some Monday morning homework, it would be this. Ask yourself, what is the in-person or analog version of what you already sell? If you coach online, like, can you bring it in person, at least part of it? If it's group coaching, can you do group meetups? If it's one-on-one coaching, can you go do it one-on-one in person? Matter of fact, you want to know what my one-on-one coaching looks like? If you work with me, I pay for your plane ticket to come see me roughly every 60 to 75 days in person, and we spend the day doing a deep dive. That's what my one-on-one coaching looks like. Of course, we have texts in between. Of course, we have calls in between. Of course, we have all that. But instead of it just being some bullshit Zoom call that is just scheduled for the sake of scheduling it so you feel like it's a program, we go IRL, whiteboards, interaction. I can read and see and feel how you're feeling. I put your butt on an airplane. You come see me. You're in Newport Beach. Sometimes I come see you, especially if you're brick and mortar. I love visiting it once or twice a year. And we get real and raw in person. And that's why it's so damn effective. So ask yourself, what is the physical experience or what is the physical artifact that goes with your business to take advantage of this IRL and this analog trend that is not going away anytime soon? It's actually just going to grow and grow and grow and grow. So in other words, don't chase scale here. Don't fall into that trap. Chase experience, which means you're also chasing margin and profit. Chase the things that people can't get elsewhere because other people don't know how to do it or they're not willing to do it or they're not pivoting quick enough. And then they'll pay you way more for it. It's that simple. All right, so that's the first one, the first trend, IRL and analog. Second one is this. And by the way, now I'm going to sound like I'm talking out of two sides of my mouth. But two things can be true at the same time and can coexist, and one thing can affect the other. Trust me. So the second one is the AI trend. And before you're like, oh, no shit, AI is trending. Thanks, genius. I don't need to listen to the show to hear that. Before that's your reaction, I want you to really hear what I'm saying on this. Because most people are asking the wrong question, talking about the wrong thing. They're asking, how do I add AI to my business? How do I build AI? That's the wrong question. The right question is, what does AI now make cheap for me that used to be expensive? And what does that do to free me up to go do? What does AI now make cheap that used to be expensive? And how does that free me up to go do something else? Think about it. The stuff that used to require you to hire someone, content creation, editing, research, first drafts of things, building models, contract review, sales copy, customer support, all these things. A lot of it just got radically cheaper and radically faster without you having to actually hire somebody for it. And your competitors are using it to move way faster than you. And because they don't have to pay for all these people, they're using it to price their stuff cheaper than you. And it's because they're taking the time to learn how to implement it and you're not. And what do you think is going to happen when your competitors move faster than you and they price their stuff cheaper than you? How are you going to compete? This is not to scare you. This is to shake you by the shoulders and say, you can't. I'm trying to get you to realize that if you don't make this adjustment, if you don't demand it out of yourself, I don't care how old you are, I don't care what your comfort zone is, you are effed. You will be left behind. I'm not exaggerating. But here's the part that nobody really connects. It does not contradict the first trend I told you about analog and IRL. What it does is it frees you up to actually take advantage of that trend. Let the machines handle the scale so you can be freed up to go do the human stuff or create the human experience. AI does all the commoditized work now. You don't have to hire the people. You don't have to manage the people. It does all of the work that used to be expensive and cumbersome. And it frees you up to go build the relationships or host the room or attend the dinner or make the judgment calls that only a person can make. It frees you up to bring the human part to your business, to write the thank you notes, to do the things that, well, before weren't scalable because other stuff had to be done. As a matter of fact, the more that AI floods the world with cheap, crappy content, the more your real presence and your point of view become the irreplaceable thing, like the special sauce, AI is actually what's going to free you up to do this, both financially and from a time perspective. And let's be honest, hosting parts of your business in real life, yeah, it has more overhead associated with it. But AI is saving you money in the other parts of your business that you used to pay for. So now, where you were once spending money on people and other things, you now have that money back to spend on the in real life, in the analog part of the experience that you provide or the product that you provide. And so it won't cost you more. If anything, it'll create more margins and more profit for you. So if I gave you kind of a Monday morning homework on this thing, it'd be this. Pick one task this week that is eating your time and quite honestly, eating your soul right now, not making you any money. Pick one task. For example, last week, I had Claude eliminate 3,000 emails from my inbox last week. Dead serious. I fell behind. My inbox was flooded. I had 3,000 emails sitting there. It took it from 3,000 emails down to 65 important ones. It deleted and categorized the rest of them. Claude did, not me. Do you know how long that would have freaking taken me? And then the hours that I just bought back, or if you do this, whatever task you find, the hours that you bought back, you can pour them into the human work that only you can do, the human experience that only you can create. And if this is still a little bit scary or a little bit outside your comfort zone or you don't know where to start, then your assignment, instead of finding one task, is to carve out 2 hours minimum this week to experiment with Claude. And by the way, get off ChatGPT. That's not for business. Claude is for business. ChatGPT sucks, okay? So open up a Claude Pro account. I think it's like $19 a month and just start experimenting. You're going to be shocked what you can ask it to do. It is absolutely bonkers. I'm so excited for you to get comfortable with it. It's like you're buying half of your life back. All right, the third trend is the right sizing movement. This is important. People are cutting back. This one's kind of a sleeper, but there's this quiet, meaning no one's really talking about it, but very, very real movement happening right now. I'm seeing it with everybody, and it is moving towards right sizing everything, right sizing your goals, right sizing your business, right sizing your personal expenditures, your budgets, your homes, your lifestyle, and especially right sizing the complexity. I think all this digital onslaught of everything is, once again, fitting with the theme, causing people to say, enough is enough. I just want simpler. And that's creating this right sizing movement as well. And it's been going on for the past decade, and especially since 2020, all we heard was the game's getting bigger and, get more house and get a bigger team and get more stuff and bigger everything. And social media sticks in your face and says, hey, this is success. But now a lot of people are waking up and they're going, wait, do I actually want all this? Or do I just want the right amount of things? Do I want the right amount of experience? You can literally have too much experience, by the way. Too much of a good thing is too much, period. Now, we've done this. Think about this. And by the way, I think about this constantly. I'm so glad we made these shifts. We once, just not too long ago, split our time between a literal mansion in Scottsdale, a lake house in Wisconsin for all of summer, and a beach home in Newport Beach. And on top of bouncing around between all those homes, I had 7 or 8 cars and RVs. It seemed like all of this would be the dream life on paper. And while it had its fun moments, I got to be honest, the hassle, the maintenance, the stress, the cost kind of added up and negated what I thought would be fun and negated what we thought would be a dream scenario, right? Put it this way, the stress and all the repairs and all the maintenance and all the everything, it negated the benefit that we thought we were going to have. And we found ourselves craving simplicity, craving way less moving parts. So we shed some cars, we sold the lake house, we sold the bus. Don't worry, I kept the Sprinter van though. That thing is my runaway escape life mobile. I love that thing. But we really, really simplified. Now, with a smaller home in Arizona and a perfect sized California beach house and just a few of my favorite cars, that was maybe the toughest thing to shed some of. I feel like we've dialed in our sweet spot. And the joke is this, the joke's on us, right? All along. The feeling that we were going for by having all these wonderful things is the feeling that we have now with less. And that is peace and enjoyment and experience. Isn't that funny? The pendulum can definitely swing too far one way, and you got to catch it and reset it. So now, when I say this is a trend, it's not just our story. Most of my highest achieving friends right now are doing the same. They are slashing busyness and distractions and stuff left and right. My business partner, who is worth well over $100 million, just cut the plans for the new home that he's building in half the size, because he didn't want all the work that comes with this gargantuan, cool ass thing that he was designing and building on this great big property. Another one of my friends just went from 3 homes down to 1, sold all of his cars, and he's a car lover, down to 1 because he was sick of taking care of them all, even though his business has never been better than it is right now. So he's never made more money, but he decided to just cut all that stuff out of his life. The things were robbing him of his peace, quite honestly. There were too many distractions and too many responsibilities. I totally get that. In another example, one of my friends who owns one of the highest volume exotic car dealerships in Southern California said she's seen a massive wave of her past customers, right? People have always been customers, suddenly trading 2 cars in on one, 3 cars in on one. They're getting rid of all of these cars. They're saying, I just want this one to daily drive. So this big less is more thing is totally happening, and it's happening quickly. Now, some of these examples may not sound relatable, but I don't want to chase you off because of the unrelatable example. These just happen to be like my friends and people I talk to, right? I share them for this reason so that they are relatable. Number one, you don't want to fall victim into thinking that you'll be happier with more and more and more and more and more. So take this as like getting to skip that bad part of the story and know that you'll be happy with what I call the sweet spot. Figure out what that sweet spot is and dial that in. And number two, this is where it affects your business. Your customers are now doing and craving the same thing. They want the same thing. They want the sweet spot. So they're cutting stuff out of their life. They're cutting programs. They're cutting coaches. They're cutting distractions. They're cutting things. They're cutting experiences in order to find their sweet spots. And so you and your business, you want to make sure that you are positioning your products and launching products that are seen as a must-have in these people's sweet spots, not as something that might be categorized as extra or a distraction. Does that make sense? So here's one of the obvious business opportunities, because there's always one, right? I can't stop but seeing the opportunity. Think about what you do in your business and see if it fits into this massive category that's opening up around helping people do more with less, become an expert in helping them simplify or optimize or cut the bloat or, get the right size team or implement the right AI in order to do all these things, or help people get clarity on how to do more with less in their business, help them dial in literally what their sweet spot is. That's what I do. I've got these Dream Life sessions that you can literally book with me where I help you dial in your right size team and your right size life very mathematically based on real numbers and real desires. It's really cool. Now, I only do a couple of them because I've priced them way below what my hourly rate is, but it's because I want people to be able to do them. I don't want it to be an intimidating, investment. Plus, it's just fun for me to do. So if you want to grab one of those, you can kind of get in line. You can go to chrisharder.me/coaching, fill out the app, just notate on there that you want to do a Dream Life budget exercise. But here's my Monday morning move for you on this one. Look at your own business through the lens of right sizing. Same for your life, okay? And ask yourself, where's the bloat? What are you paying for? What are you doing? Or what are you carrying that isn't giving you the ROI that you thought it would? Do an audit of sorts and then cut it. Seriously, cut it, man. You don't need the distractions. You don't need the extra. And if you want help with this, dead serious, reach out. Happy to help you kind of dial this stuff in. All right, so let's start to put a bow on all of this. Here's what I want you to notice. These 3 trends are not random and they are not contradictory. They're one big shift, kind of wearing 3 different outfits. Let the machines handle the scale so you can get really human. You can get real and you can get lean. Build your life and your business around that. And you're not just trend chasing, you're actually building for where the world is actually headed. And if you do that right, you know what I always say, that's when good people like you make good money and can do great things. Let's go. Love and appreciate you. chrisharder.me/coaching if you want to work together. If you want to do a dream life budget exercise, if you want me to fly you out here, do one-on-one, whatever it is, I got your back.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.